Young, dumb, but plenty of fun in Isan. What could go wrong? Right, good morning ladies and gentlemen. It is 6 a.m. here in rural Thailand, and we've got a story to share about what happens when you first come over to Thailand and decide to start working and living in a poor Thailand province in the rural Thailand countryside, and what goes on with the girls here when you're getting aerobics for free. What could possibly go wrong in today's Thailand story? Hi Dan, I have been following your channel for a while, and I am glad to see the future is looking brighter for you and your son. My name is Justin, and I'd like to share 3 relationship stories about when I first moved to Thailand to Isan as a 23-year-old single and poor for Lang in 2013. My Thailand adventure started with me signing up for a 3-week TEFL course on Koh Chang. One of my best friends from England would often tell me about the fun and adventures he had when he was teaching English at a school in a small town in Isan. As a young single guy with a few months worth of savings, I got very excited about having an adventure, working and living abroad. When I arrived in Bangkok, I joined the local Bangkok couch surfing group. Couchsurfing was a website where local hosts living in a city offered a sofa or room for backpackers for free while showing guests around the area. In exchange, a guest like me would take the host for a night out or go out for dinner. Now this is how I met a local host in Bangkok called Kanya. She was a pretty girl, about 5'6", in her early 30s. She said she was hosting 2 other backpackers from Colombia who were visiting Bangkok. Now Kanya lives in a big 4-bedroom house in the suburbs, about 30 minutes from the centre of Bangkok. I believe the house was owned by her parents who lived elsewhere. The day I arrive in Bangkok is the last night the 2 Colombians were staying with Kanya. We took a taxi to visit Khao San Road that night. We met up with another group of Kanya's friends, a mix of Thai guys and girls, and we had a great time. The next morning, the Colombians caught a taxi from the house to the airport at about 6 a.m. the next morning. I'm feeling a bit hungover and I fall back asleep. And now it's just me and Kanya in the house. At about 10 a.m, I woke up and look at the ensuite bathroom, which also joins onto Kanya's room. The door to the bathroom is wide open and she's only wearing a towel. I sit up on the bed and catch her eye in the mirror. She turns around and asks, "Hey, are you coming in?" She walks into the shower behind the door and throws the towel out of the bathroom. Now guys, I will spare you the details of what happened next, but this is my first experience with a Thai girl. Kanya and I barely leave the house for the next 3 days. What a way to start my life in Thailand. So, when I tell Kanya of my plan to go and live and work at a place with no tourists, I feel surprised when she tries to convince me to stay with her in Bangkok. She tells me, "You will not like it in the Thailand countryside." So I tell her, I didn't come half a way around the world to live in a big city like Bangkok. Now her attitude quickly changes and she becomes grumpy. I can tell that she is disappointed. She starts to withdraw herself to her room and becomes less sociable. And part of me feels bad. I want to reassure her that I'll still visit her in Bangkok. So I do what any white knight should do. I pack my bags and I leave. A few weeks later, after finishing the TEFL course on Koh Chang, I find myself on a bus heading to my new life and job teaching in Isan. My Isan adventure has finally begun. After a 7-hour bus ride, the bus conductor tells me I need to get off. It's 3 a.m. in the morning. I get off the bus and I look around. To my left are some street lights, and to my right it's pitch black. Now behind me I notice a small police station. The bus drives away and I'm all on my own with a big backpack and a tent. Now 20 minutes later, a 40-year-old woman in her pyjamas pulls up in her car saying, "Come, come, I come to take you home." Not knowing what she meant, I decide to go with the flow and just get in the car. It turns out she is the vice director of the school I am working at, and she's taking me to my little apartment, which is directly next to hers. Little did I know what problems I would have when living next door to my boss. Now the town I spend the next 6 months is a very small town in Chayapum. I am the only foreigner teaching in the school. Also, I am the only white guy under 50 years old within 50 kilometers of the town. Now to some people, this might sound awful, but to me, as a single guy in his 20s, it was a dream. Living in such a rural place, I start to learn to speak Thai very quickly. As a young white guy who was speaking Thai in the local Isan dialect in town, I was naturally attracting a lot of attention. The cute girl at the 7-Eleven, the cute girl selling food at the market. I would even hang out with a few local teachers, and I'm feeling like a kid in a candy store. But there's a problem. I don't know what to do in the evenings. I'm bored. I start texting and calling some of the girls, asking them if they want to hang out. To my surprise, the girl from 7-Eleven says yes. I tell her, let's go get some food. We go to the little street market and eat some dinner. Then I invite her back to my apartment. Fantastic. We have a great night together. Now, I repeat this with different young ladies over the next few weeks. Fa, the girl from the phone shop. Pam, the cute girl from the Honda dealership. I feel like I am in heaven. Then one day at school, the vice director, who is my next door neighbour, bursts into my office with one of the local English teachers. She tells me, "I know what you do in your room. You cannot take many girls to your room." So I tell her, "Why not? I do not have a girlfriend." The a-hole in me was so close to saying, "Do you want to spend the night together too?" Thank God I didn't say that. I would have lost my job. The local English teacher then tells me, "You are a teacher. You need to be a good man. It is not Thai culture." Now by this time, a couple of months have passed, and I have gotten to know the two older retired Phalangs who live in the town. Dennis, who is in his late 60s and owns a small resort, and Matt, who is in his mid-70s. They were a pair of old school cockneys who would tell it as it is. They had retired and had been living in the town for over 10 years. So I tell them about my conversation with the vice director about taking women back to my apartment. With cans of Leo in their hand, they look at each other and chuckle. This is Isan. You are not in England or Bangkok, Dennis says with a cheeky grin. Matt tells me, everything you do in town everyone will know about it. I also start to learn how most normal Thai women are very conservative. They date because they want to get married, and most do not want to be associated with the bar girl scene in Pattaya or Bangkok. So after our conversation, I realise I need to be more careful and respectful. Dennis also gives me one very important piece of advice. Never get with two girls from the same village. If they know each other or if they are cousins, you will be done in. Now, with this valuable insight, I realise there's only one thing for me to do. I rent a scooter and explore neighbouring towns. And after getting bit by a dog whilst running one evening, I start to regularly visit hospitals to get rabies shots. I realise there are so many cute nurses at these different hospitals. Many speak at least a little bit of English, and many want to practice their English too. So every weekend, I would ride my scooter to different villages and towns and book a room at a hotel for a couple of nights. At lunchtime or in the evening, I would go to these hospitals and eat lunch or dinner at the canteens. I would make eye contact with a cute nurse, and I would just ask if I could sit down with her and her colleagues. If one of the cute nurses was single, I would ask if they could show me around the area. After the second or third time meeting them, I would invite them back to my hotel for some fun and aerobics. Also, I remembered Dennis and Matt's advice to play it smart. I never took the girls back to my apartment or the town that I lived in. The women were also working in different hospitals. They lived in different towns, often 20 kilometres away from each other. At one point, I was seeing and meeting 5 or 6 different nurses at the same time. As a young single guy, I could see no problem with this. The relationships were casual and fun. I was having a wonderful time, but like with all good things in life, nothing lasts forever. So, one evening about 4 months after I first arrived in Isan, I visit a live music restaurant to meet some local Thai friends for some beers. As I walk through the restaurant, I spot one of the nurses who I previously hooked up with, a nurse called Ning. She is sitting at a large table, so I go over to say hello. She says she's meeting some colleagues for someone's birthday dinner. We have a quick chat and then I go and sit with my friends at the back of the restaurant. As more nurses come into the restaurant to sit at Ning's table, my stomach starts to sink. I watch in horror how another nurse that I had previously hooked up with, Mew, who works at a different hospital in another town, walks into the restaurant. Mew spots me sitting at the back of the restaurant and comes over to say hi to me. She tells me she's attending a birthday dinner for a colleague and proceeds to sit at the table with my other nurse friend, Ning. And then a third nurse I had also previously hooked up with, called also comes into the restaurant and does the same thing. She sees me and my group of friends and then goes to sit at the table with Ning and Mew. Now, while all this is going on, one of the Thai guys I'm sitting with smiles and says, "Wow, you are so popular. Girls like you very much." I look at him and tell him this is going to be a problem. I then tell him the situation of me hooking up with those 3 different girls. I look over to the nurse's table and I see the 3 girls, Ning, Mew and all talking together. My friend smiles and laughs. I look over at the nurses again and now they are all staring at me. Ning in particular is giving me an evil stare and it looks like she wants to kill me. So the 3 nurses walk over to my table. Ning picks up a glass of beer and a bucket of ice and throws them straight in my face. She then creates a massive scene and starts berating me in Thai, saying I am a bad man in front of all my friends. The guys sitting next to me think it's hilarious. But to their credit, they help to calm her down and suggest we leave and get out of there. My Thai friends then later tell me that Thai girls don't normally get angry in public unless they have really lost face. The red mist covers their eyes and they don't hold back. You just need to escape from the situation. Now, over the next few days, I start to feel guilty and bad. I am young, single, and having a good time with the girls in Isan. I wasn't trying to have a serious relationship. I guess I just got caught up in the moment. But at the same time, perhaps I didn't make it completely clear that I didn't want a serious relationship either. Either way, I was learning how jealous Thai women can get and the problems of losing face for women in Isan. Now, soon after that, I left the school that I was teaching at. I decided I didn't want the headache of dealing with so many women. I kept in touch with one of the cute, quiet and introverted teachers working there and started dating her. Having fun with all the ladies is amazing, but if you're not careful, it can get you into a lot of trouble too. And I ended up getting engaged and then married to that teacher at the school. But that is when my troubles in life only truly began. And that deserves its own story. Right, thanks very much for sharing your story on the channel. And the key takeaways from this story that I'd like to share with you guys is that, yeah, you can come over to Isan, to the Thailand countryside, rural Thailand, and you can play around with the girls and you can get a lot of, let's say, aerobics for absolutely free. But the only reason why you're getting it for free is that these girls are hoping to date you. They've already vetted you. They already know that you're living here and working here. And more than likely, you've got more money than the local Thai guys. So they're willing to take a chance. So all these girls that this guy was sleeping with were all in it for the long game. And obviously, when three of them come together and knew each other, and they all basically found out that each one of them had slept with this guy and not one of them got a single Thai baht out of him, that is a huge loss of face, and hence the beer in the face and the bucket over his head. But for me, guys, I'm very, very, very interested in hearing this guy's story, which he hasn't sent in to me yet, about marrying the teacher of the school. Because for me, I have one major golden rule here in Thailand that I've not really shared on this channel, but I will not date a teacher for so many reasons. And I'm hoping that when this guy sends in his story about marrying a teacher, he will highlight those problems of why I will personally never go anywhere near a teacher that is hunting a foreign partner. So guys, let us know what you think about this story down below, and if you would like to hear the story about him marrying a teacher in Isan. And if you've got your own Thailand story that you wish to share on the channel, then by all means, get your emails sent in to thaitalkwithdan@gmail.com and we will share them on the channel. Thanks for watching, look after yourselves, and ciao for now. Bye bye.